If I were to quote a very famous apartheid activist by the name of Dr. Agri Klaaster, he said that one thing that everybody forgets was that apartheid was devilishly successful. And what it really succeeded in doing in so many respects was divide and rule. It divided communities, it broke up families, and the grand design of apartheid, the whole social engineering process, created an absolute welter of problems that we're dealing with every day here in South Africa. We have huge satellite townships surrounding the city that have just no facilities or amenities for young people, and it's been concluded that the highest level of crime is perpetrated by young people between the ages of 17 and 25 because they come out of a pitifully inadequate school environment, and there's huge unemployment, and there's very little to give them something to really to aspire towards, or to ultimately areas where they can occupy themselves gainfully or productively.
We live in a country where HIV/AIDS has really affected a lot of families, and you get a lot of kids who are actually parentless.
Oh well, it brings out a generation of children that have got no self-esteem because they see what happens to their parents and they're not sure now. Do they take the role of the father? Do they take the role of the mother? Which role should they actually take?
There's so many children that go home to empty houses during the day, or to flats, or roam the streets because there is nothing else to do. So we need somewhere that they can get involved in a program.
But the truth of the matter, it's hardly 15 years the new government is in power. It will take a lot of years for us to recover. It's a fact. You know what I'm trying to say. So we are still being affected. Today you are in the country, you see a lot of strikes. You see a lot of strikes because people are hungry. People want food, And then if you're not in their position, you can't understand what makes a man to go into a shop and start looting food, hunger. So we need to come up with plans of ensuring that these youth, we take them, we bring them together and come up with plans of, trying to make them better persons.
In the meantime, these are people who've been looking after themselves for years and years and years.
Without a professional
without anything. And so you go in there and say, oh, we think that will work for you. And what we're basically saying is, oh, okay, what you've done up until now has been no good.
So the youth clubs still exist?
They still exist, and there's a lot of those.
There are a lot of them.
And
who runs them? Is there for each separate one? Are they separate?
They're separate, yeah.
There's no one organization that...
There is no one organization.
There was no structure, for the youth clubs. The only structure that was there was just before the Mandela release. The government had those youth clubs. They were paying the teachers. They were doing whatever. So now they stop. I don't know why.
Because remember, you're working in communities who never ever owned anything. Or you're working with a community of people who were never ever asked, how do you feel? So it's very much about acknowledging the community assets that you are already finding there, and to building it from there.
We're in Soweto, and we're taking a tour with some of the residents, and they're showing us around, and we're at a youth club. So we're here to see if the youth club has programs and if it's actually functioning as a youth club.
This is one of the most important precincts in the whole of Harare. This was an area where we basically had a couple of murders happening, very insecure area here. And over the period of 2 years it has been changed completely, as you can see. Then you see playing fields here, obviously that children's playground very close to the building. And we got highlight masts, as you can see, so it's floodlight, it's well lit. You have to come here at 6 or 8 o'clock at night, kids are playing here. All the time. We got school. Those kids should be actually in school. They shouldn't be playing here.
There's huge benefit in a strategic alliance with an organization like Violence Prevention through Urban Upgrading, because they've put millions and millions of rand into research and development. They've actually done a complete analysis of the area. They've identified where the needs are greatest. They've identified the sustainability and the potential of these projects for success. They've identified areas that are ring-fenced, for example, like the one that we went to look at with a view to possibly establishing a Boys and Girls Club. It's smack between an informal settlement on the one hand and a formal settlement on the other. So it would be an extraordinary unifying vehicle, bringing together two different communities right on the edge of Khayelitsha in a fascinating place, because it's completely surrounded by fences on school premises, and it's a huge open piece of land.
I'm very thankful and grateful for the support that Tupperware and the other stakeholders brought into firefighters. It actually helped us to keep the kids from the street. It actually helped us to keep the kids from drug abuse. I mean, this opportunity gives us already, you can see the morale is up, you can see everyone is really enthusiastic about this whole thing. The other thing that we really want to do as we take it from here is to bring in education systems within the club, where we know that it will not end at sport level, that they will do reading, they will do mathematics, but that will be part of it as we go along. And I hope and believe that they will plow back in a nice way, that the world there will be a better place for them in this world.
1, 2, 3.